It's not every day that a legend opens the door to his soul, but that's exactly what Kenny Chesney just did. For more than 3 decades, the man known as one of country music's most influential voices has lived life at full speed. Stages overflowing with fans, sold-out arenas, chart-topping songs, and a career built on passion, grit, and pure emotional truth. But today he's pulling back the curtain, slowing the pace, and looking at his own extraordinary journey with the raw honesty fans rarely get to hear. A journey he shares in his first ever book, Heart Life Music, released on November 4th. Sitting down for an exclusive one-on-one conversation with entertainment correspondent Kelsea DeLaura, Kenny Chesney looked relaxed, reflective even, in a way that tells you this moment is different. This isn't the superstar on stage under blinding spotlights. This is the kid from East Tennessee, the dreamer who once played for tips on tiny bar stools, the young hopeful who never imagined standing as one of the greatest names in country music history. As he leaned back, a soft laugh escaped him, humble, almost stunned by his own life story. "I don't know if I've got another 3 decades in me," he admitted with a grin when asked if he could keep performing into his 80s. "It'd be pretty odd to be up there singing 'She Thinks My Tractor Is Sexy' in my 80s. The crowd around him laughed, and in that moment you could feel it, that signature Kenny Chesney charm. A mixture of humor and humility that has carried him through every chapter of his career. But this conversation isn't about the jokes, it's about looking back. And for someone who's been running at full speed since the 90s, reflection wasn't always easy. "When you're as busy as I've been and everything moves so fast, you just don't stop," he said, voice growing quiet. "You keep your head down, you keep creating, and you don't look up for a long time." That changed when he began writing his book. Heart Life Music forced the king of beachside anthems and stadium energy to sit still, to remember. "I was kind of shocked at what had happened in my life," he confessed. "Shocked at the amount of people who lived this life with me, the friends who believed in me, the heroes who pushed me forward, the people who validated my dream. And if there's one thing Kenny Chesney is certain about, it's that this book is not just pages, it's a heartbeat. It's my journey," he said, eyes softening. "Growing up in East Tennessee, dreaming big and realizing that dream. Yet he insists it goes beyond his own story. Pull back," he said, "and you see that this book is really about the dream of it all." He remembers the early days clearly, riding one bus with his band thinking they'd already made it, playing college bars, guitar in hand, tip jar at his feet. "I thought that was great," he reminisced, smiling at the memory. "And it was great. It fed me, it fueled me, it carried me." But now, with decades of stadium tours behind him, he sees those memories in a new light. "The more you tell the stories, the more you remember," he said quietly. It wasn't therapy, but it was therapeutic. He hopes young dreamers read the book and see themselves. "If there's a kid out there who thinks they have a dream," he said, heartfelt and sincere, "this is a good book to read." And speaking of dreams, sometimes chasing them means delivering hard blows. Like one moment in his book that immediately caught attention. The day he had to call Taylor Swift and tell her she could no longer open for him on tour. Not because he didn't believe in her, but because she was too young, and the tour was sponsored by a spirits company. He didn't delegate the task, he made the call himself. "It was difficult," he admitted, "but I wanted her to succeed." He couldn't see the future, but he knew she had something rare. And oh, did she. Taylor Swift didn't just rise, she soared, and Kenny Chesney saw that spark early. "She had something you couldn't teach," he said. The way she looked at the audience, the hunger, the love for the stage, the eye of the tiger. He remembers her watching from the side of the stage, studying every moment, soaking it all in. "You could just tell she loved the audience," he said. "She loved the experience." That love for music, that devotion to art over fame, has always been the compass guiding Kenny Chesney. Some artists chase celebrity, he never cared for it. For him, it's always been the music, the lyrics, the emotional truth. "The songs are what matter most," he said firmly, "and they always will." It's the same quality he sees in the next generation. Artists like Kelsea Ballerini and Moroney, 2 rising voices he proudly praises. "They're hungry," he said with pride. "They love what they do. They care about their audience. They're growing their own beautiful audience right now." Like Taylor Swift, he sees that spark. That same fire he once had as a kid strumming a guitar in Tennessee. And now, as the industry celebrates him, the honors speak louder than words. Recently, Kenny Chesney was inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame. joining legends like Garth Brooks, Randy Travis, George Strait, Vince Gill, and the late June Carter Cash. "I'm number 158, he said, astonished and emotional. "That's forever, it's a small number and it means a lot." "What does that recognition mean?" "Validation," he answered simply. "Validation from peers, from the industry, from people who've lived this life. But don't think for a second that honor means he's slowing down. I was in the studio yesterday," he laughed. "Still working hard, still dreaming. He's got the stats to prove it. 17 #1 country album debuts, 6 billion streams, 31 million albums sold, 8 Entertainer of the Year awards, and the first ever country artist to play the Sphere in Las Vegas. But the numbers aren't what he holds on to. It's the journey, the roads he's traveled, the people who walked with him, the fun they had along the way. So what would he tell that young boy holding his first guitar? Don't take anything personally. Dream big, stay curious, stay open." He never could have imagined where those dreams would lead. Sitting in a studio today, reflecting on a life that looks like a movie script. As the interview wrapped, he smiled again. That same humble grin that has made him beloved for decades. "Life makes you creative," he said. "Your friends, their struggles, your struggles, all of it fuels you. I hope I never lose that. Creativity is the greatest gift I've ever been given." And with that, Kenny Chesney made one thing clear. His story isn't over, not even close. The man who brought the world anthems like "There Goes My Life," "American Kids," "Here and Now," "No Shoes, No Shirt, No Problems," and "The Good Stuff" still believes his best song hasn't been written yet. His journey continues, driven by passion, grounded in gratitude, and forever tied to the dream that began on a bar stool in East Tennessee. And now, through Heart Life Music, the world gets to walk that road with him, page by page, story by story, dream by dream. Because legends aren't born, they're made through years of dedication, creativity, heart, and relentless belief. And if there's one thing Kenny Chesney proves, it's this: the dream never ends. It just keeps singing,